Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This here is Alex Washington. He is a linebacker out of William and Mary. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, appreciate you wearing the tribe shirt there. I mean, not everybody gets the memo, but definitely appreciate it. Um, obviously, man, been at William and Mary for a while. Was a team captain this past season, bringing a lot to the table as a prospect, and just wanted an opportunity to meet you. So, Alex, introduce yourself and let's get going.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Williams. My name is Alex Washington, of course, senior linebacker from William and Mary. I'm from Louisa, Virginia, and yeah, that's me.
Cool. Just wanted to kind of go over a couple of things you had mentioned and then expound upon them at least somewhat. I have in my notes Luis County High School is where you attended way back in the day. But bro, let's take it just a little earlier if at all possible. How long have you been playing football?
Man, so since I came out the womb, I think I've had a football in my hands, but I started flag football around 3, and my parents actually ran a youth sports organization called the Orange County Stingers. So I've been playing tackle football since around 4 or 5, and just always had a love for the game.
Cool. So were you always on the defensive side of things, or how did that develop for you early on?
I definitely played everything. I went from QB to running back, linebacker, safety, even a little bit of line here and there, receiver. So just love to play ball.
Gotcha. So once you got to high school there in Luis County, what were you playing at that time?
So in Louisa, we ran a little bit of wing T, especially early on in my career. So I played a little bit of sniffer slash like slot receiver, and then that's when I realized I was more of a defensive player, safety linebacker guy.
All right. Alex, I also have in my notes that you had participated in a tad bit of wrestling and also was a track and field guy back in the day. How do you feel those other sports perhaps helped you develop as a football player?
Yes, sir. So wrestling definitely helped me with being a secure tackler, just working on different angles and being able to grapple. And then with track, just linear speed, running form, and the science of running, just getting that down helped a lot with my football career.
Cool. It's weird because, I get a lot of guys at the skill player position who are often the track athletes. And I don't get too many guys that are high school wrestlers. Typically, if they are, they've done it extensively. And you yourself, I know you really didn't do that too long in high school. But suffice it to say, obviously a multi-sport athlete in high school. And as you are coming out of high school, how was the recruiting for you?
Yeah, so recruiting out of high school, I visited a lot of Ivy League schools initially, had some looks out of there. I got an offer from Howard University, but there was some scandal stuff going on up there, and things happened, and I kind of fell under the radar a little bit. Had some looks from Davidson, and then I got in contact with Coach London somehow, and from there I was able to be a PWO.
Cool. So, preferred walk on, which I would imagine at some point you were put on scholarship, right?
Yes, sir. So that first season, 2020, was going into that COVID year, and that whole fall was basically just practice. So I went into that season thinking we were going to have a season, and then the season got canceled. And then that 2021 season, I actually got put on scholarship, or actually right before the 2022 season. So the 2021 season, I was able to ball out on special teams, and then 2022, right at the beginning of the year, I was put on scholarship.
Nice. So, obviously, man, William and Mary really wanted you. I mean, they brought you in, and you're in a weird position, of course, because I mean, we're trying to deal with the pandemic and the aftermath of such, and trying to figure out, exactly how things are going to be. But of course, they're the ones who gave you the opportunity, bro. For people that maybe have never stepped on campus, never been at William and Mary, talk about that school and why it's so special for you.
Yeah, so William and Mary is such a special place. It's a historical place, beautiful campus, great people, great alumni, great network. You'll find a lot of people in the pros coaching, and just even in all realms, like at the highest level, like you'll see William and Mary there. So you just get to see like how great the people are and how like close knit the community is and how everyone's rooting for you to win and be successful. So definitely have a lot of gratitude towards the William and Mary community.
Cool. And so, Alex, what'd you do there as a student, man? What'd you major in? I mean, I'm assuming that you've already graduated. So, tell me about what you were able to accomplish there as a student.
Yes, sir. I've been actually pretty blessed there as a student. So I came into college with around half a year's worth of credits. So
Nice.
I graduated early with a degree in marketing, and I went through the business school, which was people who at William and Mary know it's a pretty rigorous course schedule going through the business school. So that was something that I took heed to, and then I also graduated with a master's in business analytics, and I'm actually still in school now doing an online certificate for finance.
Wow, man. So you came into college with a handful of credits, which, not a lot of people were doing that. You taking AP classes in high school? Is that kind of how that worked or what?
Yes, sir. I took one AP class, but a lot of my credits came from dual enrollment, which was basically taking classes. I graduated high school early, essentially, and took
Wow.
college classes at the community college at the school.
Cool. So, dude, sounds great. Obviously, able to accomplish a lot there as a student. Great school, beautiful campus, of course. Let's talk about some football. Obviously, you as a linebacker there. Talk a little bit about that defensive structure and your role in it.
Yes, sir. So when I first got to school, our defensive coordinator was Coach Brown, who eventually was the head coach at North Carolina A&T, and we started off as a 4-3, 3-4 multiple, um, quarters primarily with some fire zones, and then on third down, 4-2-5, and then we transitioned into still a 4-3, 3-4 multiple, but we would slant always back to a 4-3 essentially out of the 3-4, and then nickel package 4-2-5. A lot more man coverage under Coach Dowling, and a lot of similar coverages outside of that, where we would basically have, for me, I played Sam to the field and also Will and nickel packages to the boundary, but a lot of that was mirrored. So not too much of a difference for me in the scheme wise.
Interesting. So it sounds as if you had a whole lot of versatility in the systems that you were involved in. I have in my notes 190 career tackles being a part of that. And bro, this past season being a team captain. Talk about what it means to be a defensive leader or just a team leader there for William Mary.
Yes, sir. Leadership has been something that's kind of been instilled in me since literally, like I said, my parents have youth organization that they ran. So that's something that's always been instilled. So being able to actually lead my peers and being voted by my peers to be seen as a leader was something that meant a lot to me. And it's something I didn't take lightly. Um, Always wanted to be one of the first guys in, last guys out, wanted to set the example, not be the example, and just always try to be there for my teammates and my coaches for whatever they needed.
Great. Alex, one of the things that I feel really helps you as a prospect is, of course, obviously having that history of you as a defensive leader, but also you have a lot of great experience on special teams as well. Can you elaborate a little bit about your experience on special teams and even maybe more specifically, your favorite position on special teams?
Yes, sir. I'm a firm believer that special teams wins games because that is where some people check out, and that's where I thrive. Like, that's one of the things that the hidden yardage game, and like, I really get meticulous about that because I love like when you really study ball and you understand like how much of like you covering down on punt and hitting him as soon as he catches the ball rather than him gaining a first down, gaining 10 yards, like how much that helps a defense or offense out. Like you really are like doing the dirty work. And I was always someone like even in high school, like my senior year, I played offense, defense, special teams. Like I told my coach, I don't want to come off the field because I just want to win the game. So that was something that I always harped on. And my favorite position, I would probably have to say either adjuster on punt or L1 or L or R4 on kickoff because L1 I was able to be a crash out so I could go down there cause havoc. Sometimes make the play or sometimes just take on two people from my teammate to make the play. So and then R4 on kickoff it was like okay, I get to swerve down the lane and go make a play. So yeah.
Awesome. It's definitely fun, being able to run like a bat out of hell on special teams and wreak some havoc and hopefully, kind of set the tone early and
Right.
obviously establish, good field position and such. Um, Other than what we have already mentioned, is there anything else about you that you feel is maybe one of your better attributes as a prospect this season?
Yes, sir. One thing that I really worked on, especially coming from Louisa, where it's um, not as meticulous about like scheme, it's like a lot more just, run hard, play fast. And it's like we have scheme, but it's like just that next level jump. And each level, like there's always a next level jump. So I always tried to meet with my coaches to like have football IQ. That's something I really harped on. And I feel like as my career grew, that helped me as a captain, as a leader, but also just as a player. Um, Knowing what's coming, reading the defenses, understanding different routes, and combinations of that, and then splits, yardage, hash plus two, like what's most likely to come, and then like just X nasty, like just understanding, taking a picture of the field, and just understanding the game at a higher level, at a level 4, level 5 level, so then I can play faster and actually like help my attributes because I feel like I was already athletic, so being able to know what's going on at that heightened level just enhanced my game.
Nice. So again, a lot of highlighting a lot of the football IQ that you've gained over your years. Um, I know a lot of great talent has come out of William and Mary, as you had mentioned before. Talk about some of the people at William and Mary who have really kind of helped shape you into the player who you are, whether it be some of your teammates or coaches. Who has been the most influential for you throughout your journey?
Oh yes, sir. So at first, I got to start with Coach Brown. He was a huge help in just me learning the defense and the scheme of everything. Coach Blackstock, his development in my actual ability of the game, making me more athletic, making me more bendy, learning to pass rush effectively, dropping coverage. Um, Coach Kev, he was also my captain. He was someone who helped break down the scheme of the game, understanding like why we run stuff and stuff like that. Coach Carter helping me with the run game. And then I would even meet with Coach Parker's not there anymore, but he was someone who helped me like I was a rover, like half I'm a hybrid, half safety, half linebacker. So I got to meet with him, go to the Nichols room for spring ball one year and just being able to be developed by so many different coaches. Coach Dowling, he always was a stickler on me about like the little stuff. And during the moments of it, I used to sometimes like, dang man, like he's on me, but like I understood that he only wanted the best out of me. So like making sure I was always meticulous and intentional about everything. Also met with a lot of players. Nate Lynn, he's on the Detroit Lions right now. working on pass rush. John Pius, he was with us. He transferred to Wisconsin, like just getting intentional about the steps and the footwork and being very meticulous about everything. Charles Grant, getting live reps against someone of that caliber, just being able to, iron sharpening iron. My man Q Osborne, uh, that's my frat brother right there. We go hard in the weight room. We go hard in the football IQ. Just someone who's always willing to put in the extra work with you. Just go hard all the time, all day. And there's numerous amount more people. Oh, Lachlan Pitts, he was my captain as well. I got a lot of good reps against him. Just being able to understand like what an NFL tight end would look like and be able to get reps and then learn from him. Like he would tell me after reps, like, hey, like this is stuff you did good, but this is stuff you can work on. Um, and even like some of the offensive coaches, Coach Akatelli, uh, I used to meet with them sometimes just to learn some of the offensive stuff. Coach Jack Armstrong, Coach Bo Revel, he definitely helped me a lot with learning I was in his room first. He helped me learn like what is like our defense, what is college football like, what is it like. He was also a captain at William and Mary, so even just helping me navigate through William and Mary, like it was a lot of people there. So like I probably know I missed some people, but it's just
That's
it was
fine,
a
man.
community effort.
You laid it all out there for people, and obviously, if you miss some, you miss some. Again, a lot of great talent there at William and Mary that you had mentioned. Some of your teammates, some of your former teammates. And then highlight a whole lot of that coaching staff and the people involved. So kudos to all those people who have helped you get you where you're at, which obviously we are looking at you as a prospect. So I want to look back at this past season for you, and then we'll look forward to what else you have going on. Obviously, this past season, 7-5 record. Maybe not perhaps exactly what you guys wanted to put out there for people. Um, you know, with that being said, if people don't really understand the CAA is so damn competitive that almost any team can win it on almost any given, game, any given season. Talk about your competition over the years, man. And, of course, obviously things didn't work out this go around. So talk about your overall motivation as well.
Yeah, so like you said, the CAA is a very competitive conference. I think it's one of the best conferences in FCS. At any given point, you can you could be last in the conference and beat the number one team in the conference, the champion, or you could be, you know, middle of the pack and then lose to the last guy. So it's like, it's really, you have to bring your A game every week, every day. Um, Trust in the game plan. You can't take any lapses of judgment. You have to be locked in always. So one of my biggest motivations was just being able to come in level-headed, level-minded. I feel like earlier in my career, I was more of a emotions guy, like bring the energy guy. And then as I evolved in my career, being more of a leader, of just kind of being that rock for the team, being someone who could come to the sideline when things were getting like maybe going down. I could be like, hey, like we're good, like everybody come together, lock in, let's finish, like next play mentality. And then also, if I felt like we needed that spark, be that guy to be like, hey, like kick someone in the butt, like, hey, let's go, like you need to lock in. Let's go. We need to lock in. So just trying to keep the flow of the game in our favor as much as possible.
Gotcha. And I know despite things maybe not going exactly the way the tribe has planned over these past couple seasons, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't get yours, that you don't have some great moments. Talk about maybe one of your best highlights of your career. Can you walk me through a particular game or maybe even a specific play?
I would say, honestly, when we played UVA and I got a sack, and that was a really close game. I thought we were gonna get them, but I was happy with my game. I had like I think 6 tackles that game, so I was one of the leading tacklers that game. Um, we had a really good game plan going in. They just got the better of us that one, but it happens
It's
ball
UVA,
sometimes.
so it is what it is.
Yes, sir. But Other than that, I was really happy with how resilient our team was with like each season and how ever since we touched down, we've always left with winning records. We've always left with a positive record. So like it's like you said, it's not always what we wanted at the end, but when you look back at the career, it's like, all right, we always ended up like above 500. So it's like that's something that William and Mary hasn't always got to see a lot. So this is a nice building foundation for the program of like, okay, like we want to leave it better than how we found it. So like leave that foundation for the next guys to come through and set that standard of like, hey, this is the bare minimum. Now y'all have to go and do more.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's not like you guys don't have the talent. You guys are able to recruit, bringing in a lot of great talent. Of course, these days you get a lot of people who are transferring out, which it happens. Of course, it's the day and age that we live in. Of course, you were there at William and Mary for a solid 5 years,
Yes,
closing
sir.
the book on your time there. What are you doing these days as you prepare moving forward to your pro day?
Yes, sir. So now I am down in Florida training with Test Football Academy and just taking it one day at a time, training, taking the feedback from my coaches down here. Great staff. Mr. Kevin Dunn, he runs all this. Otto, he's my sprint coach, Olympic medalist. So like JT, Receiver Factory, those two guys, they help us with a lot of the drills. So I have a great staff supporting me and just being around a lot of guys who are at bigger schools, knowing that William and Mary is one of the smaller schools, like it just helps me like get a gauge of like, okay, like I'm right where I need to be, doing what I need to do, and locked in.
Gotcha. Some big name people training with you or what?
We have some. So Dante, I think Dante Trader, he was in Keandre. They were just at the Senior Bowl, and they were some high risers. So those two, and then there were some people at the Tropical Bowl, like Omar, um, what's his name from Rutgers, Dre. Yeah, there's a numerous amount of guys down here who have some bowl recognitions and some high status. So it's nice competition. We all last night we were on the game after one of the training sessions playing some NCAA, talking trash. They were using some of their players, so like it's just nice to like see some competition like at a higher level and everyone come in, work, grind, like do this, just do the work to get to this next level.
Nice. And I mean, and I know the people at the Test Academy do a fine job of training up their guys. So definitely in a good situation as you're training for that pro day here soon. When is that?
Our pro day is March 20th, and yeah, just locked until then.
Awesome. So, do want to get a chance to meet the guy, Alex Washington, outside of the obviously the football player dude. Anything else that you want to share with the people about yourself? Any fun facts or hobbies or special talents or bro, you got anything else in this world that you're passionate about that you want to share? Go for it.
I do want to give a shout out to my brothers of Omega. That's my fraternity that I'm in. Um, I spend time with them, some just learning, education. Uh, I do some fishing. I do some fishing. Big deep sea fishing guy. So if anyone's looking to, you know, charter a trip, sign me up with you, please. It'd actually be
So,
cool to come to a trip out here, actually, down in Florida.
so biggest fish you ever caught?
Biggest fish I ever caught is probably just a huge like mahi mahi, like tuna.
All
But my
right.
dad has actually caught a swordfish, so that was pretty cool to see.
I've seen some nasty pictures though where like you got to be out of the way when them damn swordfish come your way. They will impale you.
Yeah.
So definitely a fun experience. Something I'd love to get an opportunity to do is go deep sea fishing. That certainly sounds like a whole lot of fun. Alex, you had mentioned a couple of times that your parents are involved in a youth organization. So I want to give you another opportunity to share more about that. So go ahead and mention that for people.
Yes, sir. So it's not currently going, but I was the baby, so they kind of finished up with me.
That's
But
fine.
growing up, it was called OSPA, Orange County. Well, Orange County Stingers was the name, but OSPA was like the park association, and that was something back at home that we played football, basketball, and it was just something like for the community. My parents always taught me to give back, be charitable, always give time. Like you're never too good to give your time back to the community. So that was something that they harped on and demonstrated. So that's something like I do personally as well. I'm actually working now to with some of my Louisa athletes who've kind of made it. Brandon Smith, he went to Penn State. Um, Jared Hunter went to Howard. My man Noah Robinson went to ODU, transferred to RMU, first team All NEC. He just transferred again to Tennessee Tech, and then like DeKeith Carter, he played up at Fordham, broke like most of their records, and then
Mhm.
he went to Indiana for a little bit. So like a lot of us guys back home, we've been trying to coordinate and how we can give back to the community. So looking forward to doing something with that in the summer before hopefully getting picked up by a camp and after, pro day. So
Gotcha. I want to see if I could ask a couple fun questions before you wrap up. I mean, our time is getting lengthy, but I mean, I do want to at least just have a little bit of fun with you before I let you
yes, sir.
go. Favorite home cooked meal?
Ooh, that gotta be really anything with mac and cheese, but it's like mac and cheese. So like you could do fried chicken with mac and cheese, you could do steak with mac and cheese, some green beans, but like really some fried chicken, mac and cheese, fried apples, and biscuits, but it got to be like really good biscuits.
Definitely sounds like a guy from Virginia for sure.
Yes, sir.
So, um, cool. Is there maybe a celebrity that you'd love an opportunity to meet? I don't know, maybe a musician, actor. You a big fan of somebody in particular on those two, or what?
Um, maybe like J. Cole,
All right.
but yeah, I mean, I'm not too big of a celebrity guy, but if I would say like someone to be like kind of interesting to me, it'd be J. Cole because he's not too much in the media, so it's kind of mysterious, but he makes a lot of good music. So
All right. Who at the NFL level, who's playing your position, who is playing it at the most elite level right now? Who do you think?
I would say maybe like Patrick McQueen, uh, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner type of guy. But I really love Patrick McQueen's game because one, he used to be a Raven, and that's my favorite team. So big trust. And then two, like underdog, he got traded, and then to a team I don't really. I mean, if they would like me, I would go there. But initially though, but he's a ball player. Like he can stop the run. I can see him guarding like a number one receiver in the slot. So it's like I feel like that's a lot of how I model my game of like being a DB, but also being a linebacker, like just being an athlete, like going out there and just saying I can do anything you need, coach. Like I'll guard this slot receiver, or I'll go hit Saquon Barkley in the hole. So
Well, definitely sounds like a tall order, but I'm not trying to set the bar for you. I mean, obviously, you want to get to the next level. You want to play alongside these people. We've highlighted what you bring to the table, of course. As we close up shop, man, once again, just tell all the people out there, why an NFL team needs to take a chance on you and give you said opportunity, man. Close us with your final thoughts.
yes, sir. So for that, I would say I'm a adaptable player, high IQ, good athleticism, and someone who will come into an organization ready to work, ready to build and just create these relationships for a long lifetime, but also just be someone who's ready to win championships.
Awesome. Well, Alex, want to wish you all the best with what you got going on, man, and appreciate the interview, man.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me.
Sure thing. Once again, I got with me Alex Washington. He's a linebacker out of William and Mary. Check this dude out.